Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode two of Notion and Friends. I am super excited for today's episode. I'm joined by B, who will introduce herself shortly, and she's going to be sharing a recipe page that she made in Notion where she can track her recipes, shopping lists, favorite ingredients, and everything of that nature. So it's going to be a really exciting episode, and I can't wait to dive into a fun way in which we can use Notion. We have no what's new in Notion this episode. The features that I discussed last time are still the same ones you can check out. So if you missed those, feel free to check out the first episode of Notion and Friends on my channel. So to start things off, let's introduce our guest for today, B. B, welcome.
Thank you. Hi everyone. My name is B, and I'm a Notion ambassador in Japan since actually this January. So it's been, I guess, almost actually half year already. But yeah, um, I just became like a full-time worker since April, and before that I was a student at a college in Japan, and I was also like running a student organization for Notion as well with my peers. And just a little bit about myself. I really love Notion, of course, but I also really love traveling around the world and cooking and also like yoga and Pilates these days. And what I do with Notion is to record um, a lot of my hobbies on there. So someday I can make use of that. And one of my dream is to open my own cafe, um, probably in Europe. I'm not really sure, but so in order to kind of achieve that, I'm also using like Notion to record my like recipes or just to kind of record my milestones as well. So that's about it. And enjoy today.
Thank you so much, B. I mean, I that sounds amazing, honestly. I wish I was into like baking and cooking because I would also want to open a bakery in Europe. That sounds like a lot of fun. But
Hmm.
like I'm not good at it at all, so I'll have to pass on that dream.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I also personally use Notion a lot for like a lot of these hobby type stuff, like recording what books I
Hmm.
read or like what my favorite songs are. So I am excited to kind of see how you use it for your, recording recipes and everything of that nature. So we're gonna jump right into the session for today. Okay.
All right.
So B, yeah, sure, lead things off. I'll jump in with questions every now and then, but feel free to, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So this is actually my recipe page, and as you can see, I record all of my recipes, not all of them, but my favorite recipes here. And I kind of categorize it like this. So this is like main, and then I have like breakfast menu, and I also have like dessert and like seasonings. So all of that kind of stuff. And if I open the recipe, this will take me to a page like this. And I have the ingredient with the picture of the food, and I have like instruction underneath, and I also have all of the ingredients that's needed. And sometimes I also have like other recipe that goes well with the recipe that I'm currently showing. And I guess one of the great thing about this recipe page is that when I want to like remake it again, I can actually go to the shopping list to see what I don't have, and I can kind of click this check mark. So now I clicked spaghetti, mushroom, and garlic. So then if I
Mhm.
go back and I can go to the shopping list page, and it'll show the ingredient that I checked.
Wow.
And yeah, thank you. Um, yeah, and this page is actually like really simple because I wanted to like use it from my phone. And
Hmm.
so like while I shop for it, I can actually just like check off this box as I get these.
Hmm.
And once I'm done with my shopping, I'll just click this and the check mark will, disappear and it goes back to its normal stage, I guess. So yeah, that's one of the feature I have. Um, Also, if I go to like today's meal, I can also like see what I've like pinned. So each recipe has like this meal prep page. meal prep properties, and then if I pin it here, I can see it over here.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, if I go to this week page, I have the pinned recipe over here, and
Mhm.
I can also like drag it to like different days, so I can like kind of meal prep for the whole week if I wanted to. So this is
Oh,
kind of like the all-in-one. I can also record my recipe, but I can also like, plan everything as well. So
okay.
yeah.
So you have like
Mhm.
your database for the recipes, and then you have a database for
Yes.
ingredients.
Yep.
Um, is there any other databases that you're also using for this?
So it's only the two databases that I'm using. So
Hmm.
just the shopping list and the recipe itself.
Okay,
Mhm.
cool. And so if somebody was trying to create something like this,
Yeah.
what would your advice be in terms of a starting point? Obviously, yours is super complex. There might be a simpler way for them to start
Okay.
out. Or how did you start out building this really cool layout?
Um, Actually, it was like, I guess just like me putting stuff that I want step by step. So I didn't make it all at once. And
Mm-hmm.
so the first thing I made is obviously the recipe page, like this one. And I think at first I only had like category, genre, maybe like time, serving, um, and maybe like status, but I didn't have like the meal prep category at first.
Mm-hmm.
I also didn't like have this like ingredient database at all. So it was just like a page that has, the minimal properties, and I had like ingredients and instructions that was just like pasted in the page. So it's nothing really complex.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, but as I go, I was like, maybe it'll be interesting to kind of like put the ingredient database so I can show the number of the ingredient, and if I can like filter it
Mm-hmm.
um, with the, like least ingredient number, then
Mm-hmm.
I can maybe like find something quick to make for dinner or something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's how I kind of like, as I get used to this template, I was like, oh, I want to do this and I want to do this. So then I
Mm-hmm.
kind of like started putting it together, and now
Mm-hmm.
it became like this. So I guess my advice would be to just start simple, um,
Yeah.
making from, yeah, just a page, without any relations and roll ups and stuff.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I think that I also
Yeah.
do the same with my templates. You start off small and then later on you're like, oh, it
Hmm.
would be cool to do this or to do that.
Yeah.
And then you keep adding to it. So for anyone starting out, that approach works best.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Cool. Are there any other cool features you have on your template that you can show us?
Let's see. I have, I'll say maybe like here as well,
Hmm.
because I like making my own recipe. If I like find some inspirations, I'll put like want to try tag. And
Hmm.
then if I start making it, or if I, like had an inspiration and started baking something, I'll just put the recipe that's still in progress over here. So it has like the developing tag. And I usually use like the comment feature. I don't know if any of these have it, but a
Hmm.
comment feature to kind of like say, oh, this would have been better if I had like walnut inside or something.
Yeah.
And then if I visit the page again next time, I can see, yeah, what I should do next to improve it.
I am curious. I
Mhm.
have another question. How
Yeah.
did you get this layout to appear how it did? So I know you've grouped like status and meal prep, and then you have category,
Oh,
genre, and
yeah.
time. How did you? I don't even know how to do that. How did you get that set up?
Like how to make it, or like how did I categorize it? Like,
Yeah, how did you get the different properties categorized like that?
um, so like the way to do it is to customize the layout. Is that what you're,
Yeah.
I guess? Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, so I had like just the properties like normally.
Mm-hmm.
And if I go to the layout, customize the layout over here, I can actually, so here I can actually like click the pin
Mm-hmm.
to kind of remove or add it to the top.
Mm-hmm.
And here, actually, you can add a section. So if I add like new section like this,
Mm-hmm.
it appears over here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can drag like different properties like this um, to appear in the certain section.
Mm-hmm.
So then that's why I had like in the status section, I had like obviously the status, my if it's my favorite and source, and then in the meal prep section, I had like pin and season day and stuff like that. Yeah,
Cool.
and if I just
Okay.
clicked, yeah.
Save it saves.
Hmm.
Okay. Same with the ones on top. You just drag those properties to appear below the name of the recipe.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Cool. Okay, awesome. I didn't know that. That's cool to know.
Yeah, this is really kind of good to use, I guess. I usually like to put what I want to see the most on the
Mm-hmm.
very top. You can only put like four, but I think that's good enough. Um, and yeah, it, if I could like section it, I can also like make it smaller so it's not gonna bother me. So
Yeah, exactly. If you have a lot of properties in one, you know,
yes, yeah,
database, that it
one thing.
makes it so useful
Mhm.
to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, awesome. Could we see how, like, for example, if
Mhm.
you're adding a new recipe to this, how it would look like for you to fill in all these different properties?
Yeah, of course. So you would go to this page, like add recipe, this button over here, and it's still loading, but I have a template saved.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say I'll do like, I don't know, bolognese or something,
Mm-hmm.
and I could categorize it to like main dish, and then I have genre like Western dish or maybe Italian. I don't know. And I can say like it takes 40 minutes to cook it, and I make it for four people.
Mm-hmm.
And in here, I can put so maybe I'm developing this recipe, so I put the status as developing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, meal prep, I can just leave it for now. And this is the template that comes up once I
Yeah.
make a new page. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll just put a photo in here if I have any. And then I can put like ingredients over here. So like tomato, onion, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And over here, I can put the instruction. So like heat up the pan and da 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 or something like that.
Yeah.
And to so I had like the ingredient over here. To do that, I like to go over to this tab over here and I can search. So like tomato, and the ingredients are usually saved in my ingredient database. So if I could just like search it, it
Mm-hmm.
comes up like this, and I can just um, add these over here, and now it appears um, underneath as well. So then
Mm-hmm.
if I need to like shop for it, I can like check it off. Yeah, and that's how you kind of use it.
Well, how did you I am learning so much. How did you get the ingredients on that side panel?
That was actually the same with
Oh, same
the one
feature.
before. So
Yeah.
layout customize,
Mm-hmm.
and then if I want to, so what's appearing on the right section over here is the side panel. And in order to do that, I would click over here actually. Wait. So click on the property itself,
Mm-hmm.
and then, sorry, it's in Japanese, but you can like add it to the layout,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's kind of separated from the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
And once it becomes this stage, I can actually move it to the panel, so then it comes on the right side. So then you can
Oh,
now, if I kind of apply it, you
hmm,
can now see it on the right side of the page, and you can like hide it.
yeah. Super
Yeah.
cool. I had no idea. Okay, amazing. That's good
Yeah.
to know. Okay. How have you found this template before you started using this in Notion? How are you recording recipes and how has this helped in making it easier?
Oh, I really like to like draw or like write on paper as well. So
Mm-hmm.
before I started using Notion, I had like a book for like recording my recipe, and that's where I usually like wrote everything down. But I think the biggest problem was that like if I wanted to put a picture inside, I need to like take a picture, print it out, and glue it together. And it was
Yeah.
just like so much work to just record one recipe. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why I never like really put everything that I wanted to put, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But because now I use Notion and it's really easy to just like put picture inside, and now I like record so much more recipes, and I feel like it's finally becoming like my actual own recipe book,
Yeah.
if that makes any sense. Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense, and like it cuts down on how much time you have
Mm.
to spend because I can see that you've automated a lot of those processes as well, so you don't have to do so much tedious work either.
Yeah, yeah. I used button a lot to make it easy. Yeah.
Can you show us an example of how you've used Button? I don't, it's not a new feature, but it came out last year, I think. Um,
Actually, maybe yes. They're coming up with like so many new feature. I can't really tell when it was released, but so for example, I guess the easiest one would be here. So if I
hmm
go into each recipe page, I have this home button on every page, every single page. And what
hmm
it does is if I just click it, I go back to the main page.
hmm
And it's very nice to do this because
hmm
if you see it like this, so here on top it has like the breadcrumbs, but
hmm
because it's in a database, it actually takes you to the like database page, not the home page.
Yeah.
So in order to like get there faster, I have the button to make it, easier to use.
hmm
And I guess another example of the button is the shopping list, for example. So now the items are added. If I click this, the check mark will be released and it's gonna go back. I mean, it's gonna disappear from the shopping list.
hmm
And this add more would be to just add like a to do on the page itself.
hmm
And I made this because sometimes um, maybe you want to like just add ingredient not
hmm
related to the recipe, right? So I made this
hmm
one to like get the checkbox anytime.
hmm
And I guess if you're doing it on PC, you can like use the shortcut to make it, make the checklist really fast. But
hmm
since this page I want to use it on my phone,
hmm
it's kind of difficult to, make the checkbox.
Yeah.
So I made the button so I can like just do it really quickly.
hmm
Yeah. So I guess that's yeah, how I use it.
Cool. So, I remember with the new recipe we created that right now, you added those two
Hmm.
ingredients and then they appeared on the shopping list because I guess you checked them off on that recipe. Is that how it
Yeah, yeah,
works?
yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
So
Actually, like,
anytime, yeah.
yeah. So if you see the ingredient page,
hmm
there are actually two checkboxes.
hmm
So this is add to list, and then this is bought.
hmm
So if I click on this one, this is add to list.
hmm
So add to list is clicked,
Oh,
and
okay.
then if I go to the shopping list, this checkbox is actually just like bought.
Bought. Okay.
So if I buy the ingredient, yeah, this will be checked. And the
hmm
shopping done button, um, this will make the bought checkbox clear
hmm
and also the add to list box clear. So
hmm
it clears both of them
hmm
and it goes back kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. That is so intuitive. Okay, I love that. That makes things so easy. Can we see the ingredients database as well?
Yes, of course. So this is my directly page
Mhm.
directory, and so I have the, I guess, stock check section, and then I have
Yeah.
what I say nutrition knowledge hub, which I'm not really using it for nutrition knowledge hub, but this is just basically all the ingredients I have over here.
Yeah.
And what you can see on top is if I need to like, if it's something that you would usually stock, I
Hmm.
put a status like in stock, no stock, so I can
Hmm.
like quickly go to this page when I'm shopping, you know, to see what I need to stock.
Hmm.
And yeah, the bottom part is just like all of the ingredients I have in this database that's categorized. And yeah,
Wow. This is so awesome, honestly. Um,
yeah, thanks.
I love the categorization, and I also like how specific it is. So, for example, the ingredients that you have that are currently not in
Hmm.
stock don't get automatically added to your shopping list unless you add them, because it depends on
Right,
what
right,
you're
right. Yeah.
making, I'm assuming. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
That's very cool. I love it. Have you, is there a way in which, okay, I guess when you are researching a new recipe, you have those recipes in development, or is there any other aspect to
Uh-huh.
this template that helps you when it comes to researching your recipes, looking for inspo or anything like that?
Um, I guess, well, usually I kind of go on my Instagram to like find a recipe inspiration.
Hmm.
But sometimes if I go to a restaurant, and if I kind of was like inspired from the recipe from the store, I would like record it to my like food diary where I like have all of my favorite restaurants and cafes and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, but I think mostly from Instagram actually.
Hmm. Okay, that makes sense. The diary is like your thoughts related to food that you can then reference and then use that
Yes,
to
yes.
add to your recipe
Hmm.
book, which is cool. So basically, you can do everything here. Or is there anything that you can't do
Yeah.
through this template that you need to use a different app for,
Um,
like your notes app
so
or anything?
far,
No.
so far not really.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do still use like my journal to
Hmm.
kind of like put out like inspiration for the food. Like maybe I
Hmm.
want to cook this and I want to like plate it, you know, like this or something. If I want to like draw an image
Yeah,
to kind of, you know, prep for the meal. But otherwise, I think I'm pretty satisfied with what I have right now with this template.
I love it, honestly. It's kind of making me want to do the
Thank you.
same, even though I don't cook that much, but it's really cool. Do you have do you have a way that you rate your recipes as well? Something like that?
I don't really like rate my recipe, but I guess that's also like a good property to just put in. I think the closest I have is like my favorite tab.
Hmm. Hmm.
So if I like clicked it, it'll show on my like favorite recipe, and I think those are yeah. Well, like you know, like the recipes I put in here are my like are the recipes that I feel like I made it like pretty
Mm,
good.
yeah.
But even inside of that, if I really, really like that recipe, I put the favorite check mark and it will show up on here. So I guess that's how I am rating right now.
Okay, that makes sense. How many recipes do you have
Yeah.
in total in this database right
Actually, I don't know.
now?
Let me see. I'm gonna use. I like used to have other one, and I still have some recipes in there as well. But I think so
Hmm.
far over here, probably around like 30, 40-ish. Yes.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Which is a lot. That's great. It's cool though, because I honestly think that the way you've set it up is really great.
Thank you. If I could actually introduce one more thing,
Hmm.
I guess this might be interesting. Here I have my recipe book page,
Hmm.
and this is also the recipe database, but I kind of wanted to make it like my own recipe book. So I kind of like just laid them out differently.
Hmm.
So here I have the table of contents, and then I just put pasted my favorite pictures over here.
Mm-hmm.
And if I like get these towels out, this is my favorite recipes. And here I have like the time saver. So what takes only like 10 minutes or 20 minutes is
Mm-hmm.
like filtered out over here.
Mm-hmm.
And these are all of my like original recipes. So what I've like made from scratch, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not something I've shown so far, but I have my favorite items, which is basically I'm really into like olive oil and salt these days. And
Yeah.
if I find one that I really like, I put it on here and I kind of rank it.
Mm.
Yeah. And I have my favorite restaurants over here as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
The olive oil and the salt is really cool. That is.
Thank you.
Is there a difference in how they taste? Like either olive oil or salt? I've never noticed.
Yes.
Really?
Olive oil really does like make, difference. It's like,
Mm.
I don't know, I almost feel like it's like drinking wine.
Mm.
Everything tastes so different. Some are like
Mm-hmm.
really spicy, some are really mild,
Mm-hmm.
and I found it really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. I had no idea. Good to know.
Yeah.
Can we see your carrot cake for our last? I think we have like just under 10 minutes.
Yes,
Your
of
carrot
course.
cake template.
Mhm. So this is my carrot cake template, and one of my favorite dessert is carrot cake, and that's why I have a dedicated page for that. Um, but basically, I have like the cafe that I want to go to over here, and these are actually this one over here is the carrot cakes I've eaten so far in my life. So I've had 22 carrot cakes at a different cafes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and here I just have, you know, the cafe that I went, and then I kind of not rate, but like
Mm-hmm.
if the cake itself was like something I really liked, or how spicy it was, and how like how good the cream cheese was.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just kind of like rank it like this. And here it's just like what I've realized about carrot cake from what
Mm-hmm.
I've eaten at a different cafes.
Yeah.
So, for example, I say over here like the coconut and the spice goes really well in the carrot cake.
Mm-hmm.
So if I eat something, if I eat a carrot cake that tastes really good that I really like, and I, would have like some realization, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would put it over here. So if I bake it by myself, I can kind of reference it and kind of mimic it in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I have that like little diary kind of section over here as well.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my God. This is so cute. Like I love it
Thank you.
so much. I mean, when you love something, it's like why not dedicate an entire Notion database to it? It just makes
Yes,
complete sense.
exactly. Yeah. That's also a
Uh,
good part of Notion. Yeah,
yeah, you can make it for literally any interest, any hobby,
exactly.
anything related to your life. How long did
Yeah.
it take you to set this up? I know it's ongoing, but to set up the initial
The
version.
carrot cake page.
Yeah.
This actually didn't take that long. It's maybe like an hour and a half or something like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one database, actually
Okay.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah, just this like simple database over here with the diary,
Mm-hmm.
and then I just have the space to record the carrot cake. So it was just that, and I guess I made it kind of more fun by making all of these places like orange, like carrot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, this is like a really simple just template.
Mm-hmm. And it's not linked to the other one, it's like separate, or are any parts of it linked to the other database?
This is actually very separate. Nothing is
Okay.
related. Mhm.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. I love it. It's super cute. Final questions from me. I mean,
Yep.
I guess just general questions. Because the
Hmm.
purpose of this series is also, in a way, to get people interested in Notion. When you are
Hmm.
creating stuff like this, do you normally start with an existing template from Marketplace, or do you create everything from scratch? And where do you get your inspo if you are creating everything from scratch?
Okay, so I usually just make it from scratch. I actually create a template myself as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I guess the inspiration I actually I think the layout I have,
Mm-hmm.
it's like for example this like box over here, the call out over here is something that's really close to the normal like user interface. Like so if you were using like internet, you would usually have like a button to go back to the previous page over here, like on the left corner.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of tried to like mimic that as much as possible. So it comes natural to me when I use it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, otherwise I think I make the I kind of like brainstorm in my head what I want, like what kind of features I want.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I put it on the paper so I can kind of like image like, oh, I want like a section like this over here on the right
Mm-hmm.
corner, and I want like something else on the left corner or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
If I do it on paper, I think it comes very easy for me to like set it up on Notion because I already have like a, solid image in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I don't know if I answered the question correctly, but
No, you
that's how
did.
I like about it.
You did. I'm the same way too. I like to create things from scratch. And like you said, certain things you kind of just base them, sometimes not knowing on like what you've seen before. Like normally this is how I would do it if I was, writing physically, or
Hmm.
how I would do it if I was building a website. So I'll do the same
Right,
thing,
right.
on Notion. So that makes complete sense. What is your favorite like Notion feature so far that you like to use?
Um, I would probably say call out.
Yeah.
So call out is basically, like the box over here.
Yeah.
I think it makes the page look very organized.
Hmm.
And yeah, I think it's easy, but it's just like, I don't know. I just really like this one.
It's useful. And it appears
Yeah,
on
it's very useful.
every page, right? Or any page. Like it's consistent. It's kind of like a component.
Yes. Um, so like in the recipe page, I don't have it. I just have the home page that goes back.
Hmm.
But yeah, usually for other templates and stuff, I usually like put the same square on the left corner.
Hmm. And then
Yeah.
when you make changes to one, it like updates the others. So it's useful in that way as
Yes.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This red part, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Highlights that.
Hmm.
Okay, great. One final question for me is for people who
Yeah.
maybe haven't used Notion as much and want to get into it, what advice would you
Hmm.
give to them in terms of how to get into Notion?
So I guess I so the reason I why I got into Notion is because I watched this YouTube video that was like introducing about the travel template. And because I really love traveling, I was like, oh, I want to like make this. And that's how I kind of like got into Notion.
Mm-hmm.
At first, because some of the template was like not free, but I didn't really know if it was like worth paying for it because I didn't really know Notion at that time.
Hmm.
So I tried to like recreate it as much as possible by myself. And because, I was trying to make something for my hobby as well, like which is traveling, I think it wasn't really hard for me to kind of like, keep trying and, making mistakes.
Hmm.
But when I did that at the end, I was able to make my own travel planner,
Hmm.
but I also got the knowledge to kind of, create like a Notion page I want for myself. So I think my advice would be to kind of just start from what you're interested in. So you don't, I guess task management is one of the, most popular usage of like Notion, but I think
Hmm.
you can also start from, like trying to record your hobby or something. That way it's not going to be like a task for you, but it's something fun to, do for yourself. So I
Hmm.
think, yeah, just start small, start from
Yeah.
something that you're interested in. Yeah, and I think that's the best advice I can give.
Yeah, no, I agree. Great advice. It's easier to learn something if you start off from an angle of like an interest. Like, I'm into this, I
Hmm.
want to build, something related to this. Or I need a CV, but I want to make it look cooler. Why not use Notion
Yeah.
to build your CV or your portfolio? So stuff like that makes sense.
Hmm.
Thank you so much. That's great
Right.
advice. Thank you, B. I mean, that was a great session. Loved your recipe book template, and I learned a lot myself, like certain cute little Notion features that I had never used before that I'm definitely gonna try out. And yeah, it was just great to see what you made and it looks super cool. And I'm sure a lot of people watching might be inspired to create their own version. I'm into wine, so I'm like already thinking, okay, I think I can do something
Yeah.
related to that now. A wine tracker, all the I do it currently, but I don't know why. I use my phone. I take a picture of the wine bottle and I write in the notes app, this was great or this was not great. But I'm gonna try use
Mhm.
Notion for it. So thank you so much for showing us your template.
Yeah, of course. It was so great to show my template on your YouTube. Thank you so much for having me.
No worries. Thank you everyone who's watching. Thank you B as well, and we'll see you guys for the next episode. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.